First time sisters together. Let's smile to the camera. Hello, Shlomi, thank you. He's the best photographer here. No, Dror, I also like you. I like all of them. So, Amit, the stage is yours. Tell them about AI-powered policy solutions and your vision for this future. I'll be right here.
Thank you, Karen. And it's a pleasure and honor to share the stage with you. Most of you don't know, our first, I think, talk together keynote stage was RSA 2019. Already there, we talked about the future of cybersecurity from a policy and a hacker and legal perspective. And today, I'm honored and humbled to share this stage with you, to share a little bit about my own and our vision in open policy and how to better connect future trajectories of attack, of what is going on with the industry on security, with policy and regulators. So you're probably wondering, how come I'm here and how I stumbled upon security? Well, it has to have a lot with my hacker sister. And of course, every hacker needs a lawyer. So as you can hear, I'm also Israeli, and I grew up in sunny Tel Aviv, but I moved to California to pursue my doctoral degree in the law at UC Berkeley. And I was very passionate about the interaction between contracts and technology. So passionate, I'm one of the only people that took the time to read hundreds of contracts and terms of services on the web, and my sister here told me all about the power of hackers and how we can help security researchers to better connect with corporations, with governments, and organizations. Turns out, I was the first law student to read a lot of bug bounty contracts. And that's how I stumbled upon this phenomena of bug bounty contracts and bug bounty platforms and discovered a way to create a policy to better connect policymakers and industry with hackers, which ended up in changing the landscape for anti-hacking. But I want to tell you a little bit about my passion about policy and what I'm very excited about open policy. So when I started this work, I started with a law paper because that's what we do in the law. And I wrote a long paper with many citations and footnotes on how these bug bounty contracts are putting hackers at risk. Turns out, law papers and academic publication need a little bit, sometime, additional help and coalitions to move the needle. So as a student, I decided to go to DEF CON upon invitation from my sister and create a coalition of the top hackers in the world, and I invited them to go on a strike and tell the big companies they're not hacking until we're fixing that landscape. And I was a student, turns out it worked, and with the help of the community, we started to work together and cultivate a movement around the need to change the contractual landscape for security researchers. That's how I ended up meeting Elon Musk and getting this beautiful challenge coin from Tesla. That was 2017 and 18. But it also introduced me to the power of policy. And it taught me that with a big idea and some passion and with the help of the crowds and with the help of everyone here, you can actually move the needle. You can change laws, you can impact industry, and you can really embark upon a journey to bring everyone together. If you're interested to find more about my past endeavor, Disclosure.io is the nonprofit. It ended up in the Supreme Court. And now we have thousands of organizations around the world that are adopting these protections for hackers. But the reason I'm really passionate about this, because I believe each of you here in the room, if you are thinking about security, if you're thinking about products in security, if you're thinking about innovation, you should immerse yourself in this landscape of policy. And we just heard from Karen about how AI is eating the world, including software. Well, guess what? Policymakers are absorbing these innovations. They are absorbing what is happening. They are absorbing attacks. And as we see attacks, we immediately see a reaction in the policy landscape. So we like to think about the laws and regulation as something that is stifling and kind of going behind technology. But the reality is that technology can create markets too. So most of you might be familiar with the executive order in the United States that talked about supply chain security in the aftermath of the SolarWinds attack. But I want to present for you, I'm just going to take 30 seconds, the future of security policy. We are going to see an explosion in the policy landscape. Product security regulations are emerging. We have now two main jurisdictions, the EU with the NIS2 directive and the US with the first federal incident reporting and ransomware payment reporting law in implementation, changing the trajectory of products that are going to be relevant for incident reporting and cyber threat analysis. We have this movement towards security measurability and certifications and desire to create more attestation. And we have a lot of focus on collaboration with hackers and security researchers, and we have this beautiful conference right here besides on Thursday where we're going to immerse ourselves with the Israeli hacker community. These are just but examples of what can be the benefit of absorbing the future landscape of regulation, and as it comes to predict that and how you can kind of be ahead of that to think about products. And I want to take just one example. 2019, after the Mirai botnet, we all remember the Mirai botnet, right? That sparked attention within policymakers on the focus on IoT security. 2018, we had our first law in California focusing on connected devices. That bill over here, SB 327, it passed for only default password is based on security measures. Now, we have a full ecosystem of product security regulation with the EU Cyber Resilience Act, the most comprehensive security regulation ever proposed, coming in Europe, already proposed, already in drafting, probably will take effect around 2025, with cyber essential requirements that are going to be relevant to all connected product. This is just but one example. We talked about AI. We are going to have a lot of focus on AI regulation, and I want to just put something on your radar. We already have regulations for AI. The EU has just enacted the EU AI Act. We're going to have requirements for high-risk systems that interact between privacy, security, and AI. This is an opportunity for you. So I'm going to take the last 30 seconds to talk a little bit about my own passion and vision. I used to be the head of cyber policy for Intel, and I see a lot of my colleagues and friends here in the room. And I had the pleasure of working with policymakers around the world and sharing Intel and industry vision on how we can engage better on policies. But this concept of coming together, increasing the trust, can be open to more. This is my new endeavor, co-founded by me and Didi Uzan, my CTO, hopefully here, our CTO in the room. We are the world's first tech-enabled company in the area of policy. And our goal is to democratize access to the most important market intelligence out there, future regulatory and policy demand. We believe that access to policy can be powered by tech, and we can bring more and more entities into the conversation, and access to markets can be powered by policy. I want to invite you to think about all the conversations that you are hearing right here as an inspiration to engage with policymakers to get more familiar with the regulatory landscape, because it is that policy and regulatory landscape that dictates the future of innovate and market demand. If you want to hear more about open policy, please reach out. I'm excited to be here. I know our time is short here. Thank you, Karen, for sharing the stage with me. And please be in touch, because we know it's going to take all the help we can get to solve these problems. And this requires dialogue, collaboration, and conversations between hackers, entrepreneurs, policymakers, and governments.
Everybody needs a friendly lawyer, just like everybody needs a friendly hacker. I'm so honored and excited to have my sister with me on stage today. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Amit. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the amazing sisters, Elazri. Amazing, amazing work. Thank you.